episode, Chef's Kiss. Coming in your ear, your right ear and your left ear. John said I was only coming in his right ear, so maybe next time I'll come in his left. Another episode, and this time it's going to get published because last time we recorded an episode and Riverside decided to just lose the tracks. It was like, the mics didn't work, blah, blah, blah. So this time we're getting it uploaded. Shorter episodes. John, what do you think?
I think it's great, and you can come in both of my ears, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Will do.
Opportunity for that, and I apologize for the technical difficulties last time.
It's not your fault. It happens to all of us.
I apologize. Let's get into it. So, it's been a while since we actually did.
I don't even remember our last episode.
I know, because we went on a spring training trip, but when we said we totally hyped it up, I did social media posts and created graphics like we were going to do a podcast, and we just ended up watching NCAA basketball, going to spring training games, doing absolutely no pods. So, but it's good to be back. We'll talk MLB, we'll talk NFL. Yankees are killing it. Juan Soto looks like the best offseason signing ever. He's just absolutely raking, and a short porch, which is beautiful. Boone's ejection yesterday was absolutely hilarious. Where
I don't think so.
So basically the ump was like, I don't want to hear anything else about balls and strikes. And he goes, okay, fine. And then a fan yelled out, hey, get it together, home plate. And then he immediately ejects Boone, and Boone's like, I didn't say anything, which is not a good excuse. Like, that's really bad on the umpire. Like, really.
That just shows you don't care at all. You just wanted to do something. You wanted to insert yourself into the game. So umpires are some of the most prideful people. Why do we still have this problem? We have replays. We have flaws in this system that when JT Realmuto put his arm back, the ump thought he was showing him up. When he put his arm down and he tossed him, JT turned around and was like, I wasn't showing you up. I was just grabbing the ball. This time, Boone said, I didn't say anything. Why can't you just take it back and be like, oh, my God, I'm sorry. I misheard you. Miscommunication. You're not thrown out. They always have to go with the call. Why is that?
Let me ask you, because first of all, I think it was an emotional reaction, and the guy flipped out, so that was obvious.
Yes.
But let me ask you this question, and I don't know the answer. Can you retroactively unthrow somebody out after you throw them out? So you throw them out. Can you bring them back? Is that allowed?
Sure. You're calling the game.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either.
I don't think you can.
But why can't you? We could do that with outs. You do it with, we're starting to work it in with strikes and balls now, too, checking with the umpire.
Also, it would look terrible on their part if they were like, I guess you're right.
That's admitting you're wrong. Why can't you admit you're wrong? I was wrong. I thought you said it, Aaron. Sorry. I thought you were showing me up. Oh, you were. Oh, my God, I'm sorry. You look more stupid when you go through with that. You look like an idiot. Like he wasn't showing you up. He didn't say anything, and you still threw him out, and you knew that he didn't say anything. That just shows how stupid you are and how prideful these umpires are. And what is the why isn't there a solution for it? Why don't we just sit there and go, oh, well, I guess he threw him out. No, he didn't say anything. You were wrong, ump. So why can't we just fix it? It makes no sense.
Really bad look for that umpire. John Boyd did like a whole breakdown on it, and it's pretty cut and dry. Like the fan said something, Boone got tossed.
Yep.
Suspended or something. That's really, really bad. Moving on, Cubs are hanging in there. So I just saw this tweet. Kyle Hendricks, man. I mean, he's a legend from the 2016 team, but it's just very sad. I don't know what's happening to him. He just cannot keep the ball in the ballpark. He's giving up home runs like at an alarming rate. So today, about 20 minutes ago, Cubs, Matt Mervis, Hayden Wisniewski, and Luke Little recalled from AAA Iowa. Garrett Cooper DFA'd. Drew Smiley placed on the 15-day IL with
that didn't last long.
Impingement, and Kyle Hendricks placed on the 15-day IL with lower back injury, which I thought you couldn't do because Billy Epler got in trouble for doing a fake injury with the Mets, but I don't even know how you would prove that. So I feel really bad for him. Like, his velocity is the same. Stuff is exactly the same. My theory on why Kyle Hendricks isn't doing well is this.
He throws 84 miles an hour.
No,
That's
he doesn't.
why.
No, he doesn't. He throws 88
Yes, he
to
does.
90. No, he doesn't. And I watch every game, so his velocity hasn't changed. What I think has changed from 2016 is the hitter's approach to Kyle Hendricks. Basically, why you can't throw sinker ball like your Brandon Webb and your sinker ballers and your two-seamers. Those don't play anymore because of launch angles. So if you try to throw something that swings, that's not going to play well. I think that's why the sweeper has become such a predominant pitch, because it has more horizontal break versus vertical break. His stuff is exactly the same as it was in 2016. The velocity's there.
There is no velocity, John. He has no velocity. You know that.
Okay, but he was third in ERA in 2016, and he has the same stuff today.
John, that's almost a decade ago. Come on. It's almost a decade ago. How long are you able to survive in a league that is, like we talked about with everyone's arm angle or arm problems, it's velocity. Everything is velocity.
Yeah, but his
How
velocity
long
is the same, so explain it. If his velocity is the same now, explain it.
Well, how long was he in the league when he was in 2016? 5 years? 4 years?
He was relatively new. So
Relatively new. And
so Jim Deshaies,
this slow guy, just like a Zach Greinke, right? Like, how much do you got? We've got tape on you for a decade.
Well, I think so. Jim Deshaies, who's the analyst for the Cubs, kind of said it best. He kind of pointed out what the hitters were doing, the Marlins hitters. He goes, with Kyle, if he doesn't put it exactly where he wants it, what you can do normally is you to breaking ball stuff. But with Kyle, what you do is you look for the changeup, and then if you get a fastball, it's not overpowering, so you can catch up with it anyway. And he goes, that's what they're doing. They're looking for that fastball, and he goes, particularly in early counts, they're jumping him. Like, they're not letting him get 0-1, 0-2. If the pitch is there, first pitch, they're like, take a swing at it. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's sad. It's very sad, but it happens. I'm sure he'll get a nice front office job later in his career. So the Cubs have a big series against the Astros tonight, which is good. Phillies are heating up. Ranger Suarez was
7 in a row.
Phenomenal.
John, you got to unplug your mic. It keeps cutting out. It happened like 3, and I was like, after the 4th one. Yeah, heads up, John's Loja's recording will continue on a new track. All right. That's the only track we got left, dude. It says John's recording will on a new track. I hope that it's still going to fucking upload. God damn it, dude.
Dude, I asked you if you wanted me to use the mic.
I did. I wanted you to because it sounds better, and then it started like cutting out, and I was like, God damn it.
This mic is old. I really need to invest in a better mic.
All right. Yeah, Phillies look great. 8-2 on the homestand. Their starting pitching is probably the best in the NL, dude. Absolutely disgusting. The third guy in the rotation, best in the bigs, dude. Ranger Suarez fields his position better than anybody else in baseball. A lot of soft, weak contact. Good stuff to see.
Yeah, he's great, and he's been solid, really solid for them. I mean, Nola, Wheeler, Suarez, they're really good, and I think their bats are going to start coming around as well. And Schwarber's just awesome. Is Schwarber the best? Will he have the best career out of the 2016 Cubs? When it's all said and done. He might.
He has more accolades than Anthony Rizzo. That's basically it, right? We got Rizzo, Javi's not in it. Chris Bryant's not in it.
No.
It's basically Kyle Schwarber out of the Bryants and the Rizzos and the Baez and Addison Russell, Jason Hayward. Yeah.
He's already at 250 home runs, man.
They sent me a Foco. Shout out Foco. I love you guys. They sent me this new bobblehead. most home runs in NLCS history, John. And they sent the date with Kyle Schwarber on there. It's so cool. But just like a reminder, like, yeah, do you remember, like, he had the most home runs in the NLCS? It was insane. I think he had like 8 or something. But yeah, October 21st, 2023. Just a cool little bobble. Thanks, Foco.
It's awesome. I know you wanted to talk, before we get into NFL draft stuff, who is due to break out soon?
Oh, this is...
Who do you think...
Well, I just wanted to say people were hopping on Jackson Holiday really early, right? So this is what bothers me. Like, I love working in, social media and doing all this kind of shit, but then you also have to listen to all these other people, and you're like, God damn it, you guys are fucking idiots. Like, these people that talk so much stuff, like, this early in the season, right? Like, 9 games in the season, and they're like, this season's over, this team stinks. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. They didn't even warm up yet. Like, it's not even May yet. Chill out. So the same thing I see with, like, Jackson Holiday. It's like, dude, the kid rakes in AAA, okay? He doesn't need to prove anything else more in AAA. Comes up to the bigs, yeah, it's a step up in quality, of course. You also, you just got there. It's April. So I think Jackson Holiday, I'm going to pick him. I don't know if I didn't check the lineups yet, but I'm going to take him on some props coming up here soon because I think he's going to start coming around.
Totally agree. The O's are stacked. Gunnar Henderson. I think Juan Soto is going to win the MVP this year.
Yeah, did you see they already took polls? Like they already took polls for MVP, and he was obviously leading. Yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
Him and Ohtani.
Him and Ohtani, yeah, but I think it might be Soto when it's all said and done.
Sure, but isn't it also insane that a guy that's recovering from Tommy John surgery is in the running for the MVP? I mean, it's ridiculous when you think about it, right?
It's also insane that you can bet
he avoided
substantial amounts of money and avoid federal.
Yeah, he avoided federal charges too. I mean, this guy, nothing sticks to this guy. The Teflon Don.
Major League Baseball was like, not this guy.
Yeah,
we're gonna protect this guy.
Yeah,
and they're doing a bang up job.
We'll give you Jonte Murray.
Out of terrible Major League Baseball, out of terrible professional commissioners, like Goodell is way up there, but dude, Manfred is making a tremendous surge up the ladder. Like, he's terrible.
Yeah,
he sucks.
I hate Rob Manfred more than Roger Goodell, for sure.
They're both bad, but dude, Manfred might be there. He's made so many. He's also one of the worst public speakers in the world, which is such a big part of his job.
Right.
But his bosses, the owners, they only care about profits, and he makes them money, and so they're like, we don't care, which is sad. Okay. Your question: why do we choose to forgive some players and banish others?
So
this talk about
this is why this
Roldis Chapman, Addison Russell, Trevor Bauer, and Ozuna.
Well, the only reason I brought this up was because I saw that they were taking MVP polls, right? And we saw it was Juan Soto and Ohtani. Then they did the NL, and it was only had like 1 vote, but Marcell Ozuna was on there, and I was like, oh yeah, like I forgot, like DUI. I think he had. I don't know if he had a domestic. Do you know if he had a domestic, or am I making that up? I don't want to make it up.
I know everyone else's transgression except for Ozuna.
Regardless, Trevor Bauer has been playing in Mexico. He had, I want to say, 17 strikeouts? Did I see that correctly?
We were watching
in
Mexico, and he was hitting 97, 98.
Yeah. So this is my question: is like, why or how do we choose players to forgive versus players we banish, right? Because Aroldis Chapman took a gun in his garage and shot it next to his girlfriend or wife's head. Shot it in his garage, like towards her head, right in her ear. That happened. It was in the police report. He, in turn, got traded from the Yankees, went to the Cubs, won a World Series. Hands are washed. Like nothing ever happened. And I know winning has to do a lot with it in your performance, but it's just bizarre. Like when you see this Trevor Bauer stuff, and it's like, dude, this guy, like, you mean to tell me that none of these teams, none of you 30 teams, the White Sox, couldn't use Trevor Bauer? Like, it just doesn't make sense. He obviously is being blackballed for those reasons. But it just makes me think, like, why? What's the criteria for being forgiven and for being banished?
Yeah, I think it's kind of simple. Aroldis Chapman, like, is not a good guy, but he's quiet. You know what I mean? He's quiet and he doesn't talk. Trevor Bauer is a dick. That's why. That's the difference. Some people, if they have issues or transgressions, and if you can play, you're gonna. People don't care, but be quiet about it. Shut up and do whatever rehabilitation you need to do. Addison Russell obviously couldn't play anymore, so he's not in the league. Trevor Bauer can play, but Trevor Bauer is a dick. Mm-hmm. He's an asshole. And
distraction, I guess, too.
Of course. Oh, my God. And the last thing the White Sox need is another bad PR thing.
I feel like they could use a distraction.
Dude, they already have Mike Clevenger. Like, my God, what else do they need? But, so, I think that's it. I think in all sports, too, like, distraction. Like, Colin Kaepernick, same thing. There was a time where he was a viable backup, like early on, in the early days. But they're like, we don't want the heat. We don't want the distraction. Like, so, and I think in Bauer's case, he's a dick. I think in Chapman's quiet. Ozuna's quiet. Just kind of let it, like, okay, that happened. Just moving on. But Bauer...
His personality is very large.
Bauer won't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
And that's his problem. He's a dick.
Yeah.
And he's out there. Like...
He's on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's to say, like, not to get political here, and I'm...
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I'm not getting political. But, like, like, a lot of Republicans, with their biggest problem with Trump, which there's a lot of issues with him, is him tweeting. Like... They're like, if Trump would just be quiet and just do, like, but he can't, that's not him. He can't do it. Same thing with Bauer. He's his own worst enemy. He can't shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. And so when people see that and they see his personality, they're like, no, we're not going to take a flyer on you. And also, we don't want you in the clubhouse. Like, so that's why.
Yeah.
I think it's his personality. But Chapman... Ozuna, they're chill, they're quiet. Well, it's fine.
John, that brings me into my next point and question. How important is character when drafting a player? We saw a lot of stuff come out from Caleb Williams. And this, side note real quick.
Wait, are we getting into NFL draft stuff?
Yes, this segue into it just because we were talking about character. How important is character when drafting a player? Side note real quick, because we've seen stuff come out from anonymous GMs and anonymous sources. If you don't put your name behind something, shut up. Don't say anything because it means nothing. When these things come out and they're like, anonymous GM says Caleb Williams acts like Prince. He acts like blah, blah, blah. Like he is a diva. He's a lot of trouble. He needs to be around the right kind of people to support him. If you're not going to put your name behind it, shut up. Because I don't care about anonymous sources. Be a man, stand behind your word, or don't. Shut up. So this is something that the Bears are going to have to face. They're obviously going to take Caleb Williams. There is, stuff surrounding him on whether he's a diva, he cries, paints his nails, distractions like we were talking about, stuff like that. But that doesn't seem to be an issue because his talent is so high that teams are willing to put up with whatever circus is coming to town with him.
I completely agree. Let me give you a case study. And I know you don't like me talking about Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to. So, in the 2005 draft, if you remember, the San Francisco 49ers had the number 1 pick. Rodgers is from Northern California. They wanted Rodgers, okay? They decided, I've read everything about Aaron Rodgers being a huge Packer fan. They opted not to go with Aaron Rodgers and select Alex Smith for the number 1 pick. They opted not to go with Aaron Rodgers because they didn't like his attitude and they thought he was cocky and they didn't like his character. Now, long term, they were right. He doesn't have. He's not the best
on the
leader.
On the character part, you're talking.
On the character part. However, he is one of the most talented people to ever throw a football. 4 MVPs, 10 plus Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl. you'll take it, is my point. So when Bears fans complain, oh, this guy paints his nails, whatever, who gives a fuck? Can the guy play on Sundays? Like, I don't have to hang out with Aaron Rodgers, but every Sunday when I would watch the Packers, he would dominate. He would dominate. So if San Francisco could go back, I guarantee you they would select Aaron Rodgers if they knew what he was going to be over Alex Smith.
Sure.
And Alex Smith was a terrible person. So talent. Like, it doesn't, like, a character. Like, I think Aaron could have won more Super Bowls had he been a better leader, like Brady, because he had so much talent. But that's a case study. Like, so what? Draft Caleb Williams if you're the Bears. That's a done deal. And then at 9, Marvin Harrison Jr. Dude, Bears could be a possible real threat.
Yeah.
Except the fact that you got to face Jordan Love, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll get back to Bears Packers pretty soon here in a couple months.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, draft on Thursday. Should be
excited?
exciting.
People in Chicago here are losing their fucking minds. They are like, they've never been more excited for a draft
Since
pick
Justin Fields.
Exactly. And I'm like sitting there quietly being like, I've heard this
so many times. Yeah.
Before. And I go, even if he is good, dude, you have to face Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. Jordan Love, by the way,
And Dan Campbell and Jared Goff.
Looking at betting odds, is a candidate to win the MVP this year, Jordan Love. Damian Woody already said that. So not only that, if Minnesota has a solid team, if they get J.J. McCarthy, and then the Lions, like you pointed out, the Lions rehired their OC. The Lions are a mediocre team if they don't have Ben Johnson as their OC. Dan Campbell, I fully believe that the reason Detroit is so good is because of their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. And the fact that he decided to stay with Detroit makes them a huge threat. So even if you get Caleb Williams, you are looking at 2 really, really good teams to face. And
Twice a year.
Yeah, twice a year. So, like, yeah, he might be good, but I'll tell you what, he's not going to be better than the Packers. Like, I'd be shocked if he beat them. I really would.
Well, you just brought up a great point, John. You brought up Ben Johnson is such a integral part of that offense.
They're a 500 team without him. That's how important.
Okay,
I think
can you say the same thing about the Chicago Bears and their head coach and their OC? No, you can't.
Because I think that they're a bad. I mean, I don't want to be a
They
jerk,
are.
They're a bad organization.
They are. It's okay, John. It's honest.
Caleb Williams is really talented, but if you don't have anyone to protect him, he's going to get pounded, just like Justin
Fields, just like Mitch Trubisky, blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't matter. Like, the Packers, like, what we're really good at, I mean, we've got lucky that we got 3 good quarterbacks in a row. That's just luck. But our O-line is always top 5 in the league. Always. Mm-hmm. Our offensive line is really, really good. We protect the quarterback. We can run the football. That's an integral part of our team. And the Bears, I can't remember the last time they had a good offensive line.
No.
So everyone's so pumped for Caleb Williams. It's like, okay, like, good luck. Do you understand who else is in your division?
Right.
You're not going to beat the Packers, and you're not going to beat Detroit. Like, this is a first-year quarterback. Like, I feel bad for him because the expectations are ridiculous.
I'll feel bad for him next year. I'll feel bad for him next year when they fire the head coach, and then he has to learn his second offensive scheme.
Yeah,
in his second year in the league.
Dude, I feel like you're a Bear. If I was a Bears fan, I'd be like, we're repeating the same process every 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, John, we talked about this. I said I can't be excited. I've seen this before way too many times. They don't develop quarterbacks. They don't draft well. They don't develop quarterbacks. So until I see it, I'll be happy. When they're 4-1, and it's like, yeah, maybe we got something here. Until then, I don't care. I'll wait and see what it is.
I agree. Yeah, I think he's super talented. You definitely take him number 1. But if you don't have an offensive line, I mean, It's more than a quarterback. You got to have all the pieces. And Jordan Love is really good, but dude, I'll be totally honest. Matt LaFleur is a great play caller, and Matt LaFleur is a huge reason why Jordan Love is successful.
Yeah.
But Matt LaFleur was the reason that they traded up to get Jordan Love. It wasn't Brian Gutekunst. He saw film on him, and he said, this guy can run my system. And Gutekunst said, I'm going to take a lot of shit for it for Rodgers. And he goes, are you sure this is who you want? And he goes, yes. This guy can run the system I want to run. So it was really LaFleur who wanted Love. It wasn't Gutekunst. Gutekunst just took the heat for it.
John, are you placing any bets for the draft? Do you see anything that you liked? Quarterbacks, I think, was like 4.5 over under in the first
Williams
round.
is a done deal, right? Like there's no way the Bears aren't drafting Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah, there's no.
Now, I'm more interested in what they're going to do at 9.
Sure.
Are they going to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Is he going to be available?
No, he won't fall that. No.
If you get Caleb Williams, you've got skill positions. Like get an offensive lineman, draft an offensive lineman, get a really great tackle for him. It's the least you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like your defense is good, your run defense is good. Draft a bona fide, blue chip, top notch offensive lineman tackle that can protect him.
Yeah, all the fans though, they just want all the bells and whistles. They want the wide receiver. Like, go get the wide receiver.
Yeah, right. It's like, dude, if you can't pass protect, none of this matters, man.
Yeah.
Like,
or if you can't stop the team from putting up 28 points a game, it doesn't matter.
And the other thing too, all the stuff he did at USC, dude, he's not going to be doing that in the NFL.
No.
Like, so you need pocket protection. You need someone. You need to give him time so he can make plays and do those things. And I feel bad for Bears fans. I feel like they're just going to be really, really let down.
Yeah,
they're going to get what they wanted, and they're going to ultimately be disappointed once the season starts because Matt Eberflus does not know what he's doing. Like, he just doesn't know.
No.
And if you're drafting a quarterback as your number 1 pick, you better have someone on the offensive side who knows what they're doing. And
he's not.
They don't.
He's not him.
They don't.
No. So yeah, he'll be gone year after, and then we'll bring someone else in. And it's just, you're not setting him up for success. So
it's business
that's
as
when
usual,
you can't
man.
get.
Like,
you could be excited for the player. I'm excited for the player, but the system around him. It's like if you have you're a product of your environment, right? You go live in disheveled, terrible surroundings, you're going to become a part of that system. Or if you
absolutely, and a quarterback, you can't win without a quarterback in the NFL, but it is the system.
Right.
Like the Chiefs are good because of Patrick Mahomes, but also because of the system Andy Reid runs.
Yes.
Same thing with Brady. Brady's a great quarterback, but he worked well in the system that Belichick created. Same thing for Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. You need a really good head coach who, frankly, is offensive-minded, and that's where all the most successful teams are. They have an offensive-minded head coach. 49ers, Packers, Chiefs, and the Bears hired a defensive coordinator from the freaking Colts. Like,
they do that though, dude. The Bears are always defensive minded.
Why?
When have they ever had a prolific offense? Never, never, never. Bears have never had a prolific offense. They went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, dude. Please, like it's because they had Devin Hester in special teams and a phenomenal defense. That was it. Never have been good on offense.
If I was you, dude, I get it. I would root for Philly over the Bears because I would have quit this. If I was a Bears fan, my wife is a Bears fan, dude, I would have quit them a long time ago because they have such incompetent front office and ownership.
Like the White Sox.
Very absolutely. Much. I would have quit the White Sox too. Yeah, for sure. If I know that you're not trying to win and you're not putting in smart people in place to do so,
right? I'm
out. I tell Alex all the time, my wife, I'm like, there's no clause that says you have to put yourself through this. I mean, this isn't fun.
Right.
Like, I'm like being a dick while we're watching Packer Bears games. I'm talking mad shit, and it's hilarious and it's fun. And she's not having a good time, and I go, hey, you don't have to do this. It doesn't have to be like this. I go, you don't have to do this. And she goes, I have to. My dad would be so upset. I go, fine. I go, but then I'm just going to shit on this team all year. And when we play you, I'm going to be insufferable. And it's your own fault.
Well, John, you are insufferable 90% of the time anyway. So
That's valid.
that goes
That's valid.
without saying. John, last thing I wanted to bring up. So, you know, like these influencers that are like sports bettors and stuff, do you believe that they bet their own money? How do you feel about that?
You mean based off of their recommendations that they're giving on their social channels?
Yeah, like there's a group of bettors. I'm not going to say their name, but they are sponsored by a pick'em kind of sports book. So what I was getting at was I have this app called Pick It, right? And it keeps track of all my bets. And when FanDuel gave me a free bet, right? A free bet to use. So I placed the free bet and I placed it, won, lost, whatever. Then I went into my app Pick It and it says above it, which it usually doesn't, it says free because it was given to me by the sports book, right? By FanDuel. So I was like, oh, it says free on there. And it doesn't count against my stats because it's smart enough to know this wasn't in your account. So we're not going to deduct how much you lost because it was a free bet. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I'm following those people that I'm talking about who are in a group together and they all bet and do all this stuff. My mega lays and my fucking 49 leg parlays, those guys. And you look at all those bets, dude. What do they say? Free. I'm like, holy shit. So the sports books that are sponsored by them give them fake money to use so they can place these bets. And I'm sure they have money in their own accounts as well. But they are given these bets.
Yes.
This money. We'll put $1,000 in your account. You can't withdraw it. We can only give it to you.
And you have to use it to bet with us. Yes, absolutely.
And then you put out graphics with our logo, and so
it's all about promotion.
Yes.
Yep.
So I saw that, and I was just like, because if you look at their record, dude, the dude's down like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
The point. They don't care. They want the promotion.
Right.
It's their own money, so they're giving out money, but they're just
It's not even money, John. It's just in the algorithm. I'll put X amount in there. It's not like because you can't withdraw it. They just want you to play to make it look like you're making all these bets all day.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm like, these guys fucking stream, dude. They live in a 1-bedroom apartment and they stream all day talking about what's our lay of the day. And they just give the free bets. I wanted to expose it so bad and just show like pop, like free from all.
Do like a breakdown and expose them.
I don't want to because there's one girl in there that's really nice that I like her and she's a part of the group, so that's the only reason why I don't want to. The other guys can go kick fucking rocks.
Shout out to that one girl.
Yeah, the other guys can go kick rocks, but that's why I wouldn't want to do it. But I saw it and I was just like, dude, how do you guys not see this? Like, I found this in 5 seconds. But that was an interesting find that just happened to me, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Cool, dude. Yeah. Exposed.
Cool. All right, cool. Hey, we made it 33 minutes. Let's get out of here before we get disconnected.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. We'll see you next week, hopefully.